Let me go there. See what I do. So I am on live stream. And I see you, Brenda. Hold on just a second. I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to do my screen share. See if I have it the way that I wanted it to. Let me know, Brenda and Karen, if you can actually hear me.
Yes, they're hearing you loud and clear.
I'm screen sharing. Do you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you see me. I'm about to make my screen big, and you tell me if you see that. That's me screen shared. I'm not too sure if that's what I wanted. Hold on. I sat down about an hour ago and I did all of this stuff to make sure that I got it correct. But I don't. Shrink it. Shrink it. It says my screen share is paused, right?
Yeah.
Now if I resume it, are we back to screen sharing?
Yes, I'm seeing myself.
You see myself?
I'm seeing you. Yes, I'm seeing you now. And I'm there too. I'm seeing two of me. So I don't know. I'm seeing two of me on the screen, on the three of me, four of me. Wow.
Yeah. You're seeing 3 of you?
4, 5.
So I'm gonna switch some things real quick. Yeah. So I'm trying to make it so that you don't see all this stuff that I'm seeing. But we're going to do what I call, I guess I'm gonna stop the share that I just did. Okay. And I should just have the live stream on right now. So you should see 3 of us, Karen, Brenda, and
Yeah.
what?
Someone is here to me, so I'm stepping away a bit.
Okay.
Just go into the bathroom before you start.
That's fine. So I'm going to have to try something real quick because I couldn't get it to go with the way I wanted it to go. So I'm going, now it showed that it was live. Now it shows I'm live. With excellent communications. But I'm not live where I want to be. So let's, let me send another link because I think that they are not where I need them to be. So I'm going to see that because there's some people in the room in the other one. So let me see if I can get the right link, or at least the other link, to give to him to see if they can join. And then I'll have to figure out what I did the next time. So I've left a message there. Hopefully they are now on my live stream, and that it's there. Okay. It says the connection is excellent. It says that I am live stream. I'm going to click on it and I should see myself on this live stream on the other. And I do. Oh, look at that. I saw myself. Okay. Karen, let me know when you're back. And then we'll get started. No pressure. No pressure, because you waited for me. I can wait for you. No pressure. Okay. So remember, this is live stream. That means it's all on all my social medias. So FYI, just as a reminder, you can have your cameras on or you can have your cameras off, but it is live streamed. So that means it is out there on the web for the rest of the eternity. Okay, so today we're actually going to be talking about what we're going to be doing every Sunday when I come on at 12:30. A little bit more organized next time, hopefully. So what we're going to do is we're going to be utilizing a 3-step thought process, understanding how it is that we utilize it to benefit from it, okay? And so I'm going to show how you are going to be your own brain whisperer, okay? That means that you are going to be doing your own sessions on yourself, okay? But using the guided, either mind cardio, PDF guides, or the actual videos. All of this information is on my website, DIYmentalboost.com. There's an easy button that says Easy Start Here. So it's very simple as to how to get started. That page, Easy Start Here, is the page I will always be basing my live streams on. Okay? There's always going to be at least 4 videos and a PDF guide for people to start working through things, and then that is what I'm going to base my subjects on. So if you were to look at them today, you have the subjects of resentment, or for this month I should say, because it changes every month, you would see resentment. You would also see that we would have unwanted thoughts, how to boost love in our lives, and then also, I think there was another one on just boosting your mood. Okay, so welcome to all those who are welcome, and I sure hope that you are here. I'm going to just say hi to my little live stream people over here. Okay, so
Hi.
the basics of what we're going to talk about. Hi, Patricia. Remember that this is a live stream, so you can have camera on or camera off. It's up to you, but just know it is live streamed. So what you want to basically understand is that you're doing this process. You are going to want to take the time to decide when it is that you want to do your sessions on yourself, okay? And that basically means you just sit down with a guided sheet, or you sit down with a video that you play on YouTube or on my website, and you basically do the video or the guide sheet, and that is what's going to help you to rewire your brain. That is what the 3-step thought process does. Now, why do you want to use the 3-step thought process? Well, you want to use it because if you can see anything in your life that's going on that you want to be different, then you're going to help your brain to do that. As you know, we can change habits, right? We can create new habits. We can create different things. What I found out, though, is that I was really underutilizing my brain. Okay, 4 years ago, I did not know that my brain could do a whole lot more than what I was using it for. So, for instance, think of it like this. Let's say you have a pen knife. And you know, a pen knife is something that has different gadgets on it you can use for different things. Now, you may get that pen knife and you might use it for something, and you just always use it. It's just a great little, every time I need to do this, I just break out my little nifty little pen knife. And then you have a friend who comes along and says, hey, I got the same knife. You know, I use it for this and this and this and this and this. And you're like, what? It does all of that? I didn't know I could use it for all of that. So your brain is exactly like that. When you hear people saying, we don't use much of our brain, that's probably because we don't realize what it can do for us. And what I stress the most is the fact that whatever you have in your life right now is your own creation, which sounds a little weird, especially if you have something going on in your life that you do not want. You're like, I did not create this. I would not want this. What we don't realize is that we are running on programs all the time, okay? And these programs we have been developing and creating and enhancing and changing for years, all the time, from the time of birth. Now, how do we create our emotions and our feelings and what we're doing? I'm not going to explain that because I have a basic video. That's one of my basic videos that you can go ahead and look at. And I actually almost wanted to see if I could share that possibly as a link so that you would know where to find that. So I'm going to try to do that in the chat so that you know where to find that and see what happens. So give me 1 second to see if I can do that for you, okay? It is an excellent video to use because it explains exactly why you feel the way you feel. A lot of people don't understand. They think their feelings are random or they just, you know, something bad happened and so that's why they feel bad. And actually that is not. It's actually a program of how we've trained our brain to react to things. And so once we realize that, then we actually have more control over the programs. So I'm teaching you the programs to be more nifty and control with the programs that you allow to run in your brain. I did grab it. I'm going to see if I can put it in the chat for everyone and send it. So that means that you'll have it. I'm also going to see if I can do it over here for my YouTube real quick. If I can do it without it being a big issue. Now, as you are learning to reprogram using the 3-step thought process, understand that the 3-step thought process is just one way. Okay, it's not the only way to rewire your brain. Okay, but I use a 3-step thought process because one is it helps you to be able to see changes immediately as you're rewiring. 2, as you make it a habit, the brain then learns to make it a habit. So instead of it being something that you actually have to always sit down and do, the brain learns to do it automatically. So it takes something that you manually do in the beginning, and it becomes something that it automatically learns for you to do. So that's what I love about it, okay? And also you can actually use it on everything and anything. So you've got, anyone want to guess on how many thoughts that we have a day, possibly? Anybody want to guess that? How many thoughts do you think we have a day?
Hundreds.
Someone said hundreds. Anyone else got another guess?
Thousands.
Thousands? Yes. Do you want to know how many thousands? 70,000 approximately a day. That's a lot of thought processing. Now, think about it. If out of those 70,000 thoughts, you're having a sad day, that means all of your thoughts are what? That's a lot of sadness. We don't know that when we spend just an hour being sad, how many sad things we are creating for ourselves. So, when we go in and we use the 3-step thought process to address our thoughts, what do you think will happen to our thoughts? If our thoughts were kind of feeling a little low, maybe a little scared, frightened, what happens when we use the 3-step thought process? What do you think will happen to those thoughts?
It improves them. It improves them.
Yes, they improve. How much do they improve? Now, I push this because our brains are so used to feeling bad. The thought of just feeling better 24/7 is so foreign. It takes me like forever to get someone to say that they just feel great all the time. Because we are so used to feeling bad at the drop of a hat for anything all the time, that the concept that we will not feel bad is just not something our brain will register, because that is what the programs we have used. Our program said, if we lose our job, how do we feel? How does anyone feel when they lose a job?
Sad.
Sad. And you don't have to answer out loud. You could just think in your head what it is that you want. But yeah, we go through different ranges. Sometimes we're scared. Some people are thinking of, oh, how am I going to feed my children? Oh, we're going to be living out on the street. Oh, we're going to be homeless. The brain just starts creating all kinds of what? Thoughts. And those thoughts, you have to understand, when you start creating them, that is how your subconscious, that's how your brain knows the feelings to make you have. So if you start thinking, oh no, I don't know what, this is the worst thing that's ever going to happen to us and our family, we're never going to recover, how will you start to feel? It's very important to understand that what we allow our brain to think, the intensity that we give to it, okay, the emotion we attach to it, the emotion and the intensity is how the brain then says, this is how you're going to feel. I did not realize that. So when I was feeling something, I realized I actually told my brain how to make me feel. That's why they tell people all the time to what? Think positive, right? They say to assume the best, right? That is why they say it. We don't know it. We're thinking they're just telling us to think positive and that we're faking or we're lying and all this stuff. But the reality is your brain cannot make you feel good if you keep telling it, this is hopeless. What am I going to do? As long as you keep saying, this is hopeless. What am I going to do? This is hopeless. What am I going to do? The brain starts to make you feel hopeless and 100% hopeless. How many times have you talked to someone that you could see that maybe their situation was figure-outable, but they're like way down deep. They're deep down in their misery. And you're like, well, just do this. And they're like, no, that's not going to work. Because the brain will not allow them to see what you're saying so that it can stay in the state of that what they told it to, which is, I don't know what it to do. Is that making sense? Can I get a thumbs up from Patricia and Karen if they're understanding what I'm saying, and Brenda, if you're understanding what I'm saying? If you don't know how to use the thumbs up, it's a little thing. Okay, great, Karen. It's under more. I think it's under more. Where you'll have, oh, superb. I've got smart people up on here. Great. So this is making sense. Now, if at any time you have a question, you can either put it in the chat so that I can respond to it. Okay? I see that Karen did say something before, and I apologize if I did not respond to it. I wasn't paying attention, but now I know to pay attention. Okay, so I think that answer too many was how many thoughts do we have a day? Okay, so we've got these 70,000 thoughts going around up in our head. Okay, and if we want them all to be motivating, right, and content, then we actually have to do something about it. It will not happen by osmosis, because you have to understand, for years you've been reacting a certain way. I lost my job, you feel bad. Has anyone ever told you you can have bad things happen to you and not feel bad about them? Has anyone ever just said, hey, you can have the worst things happening to you and you do not have to feel bad? That is foreign to most people, because they're like, that's crazy. If you have something bad happening to you, you feel bad. How can you not feel bad? What are you talking about? If you're not feeling bad, then you're what? Maybe suppressing it? Or maybe you're not living in reality? Okay? What we don't understand is the reason why we're feeling bad is because that is what we assigned the brain to think about it. The brain actually has another productive way of handling things. And when you train it to do that, instead of you going low down because something bad happened, the brain will not go low down. It will go high up. Now, what do I mean when I say it will go high up? You've heard it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, and I'm going to tell you some things. If you fall off the horse, get back up and get on the horse. Can I have a thumbs up if people have heard that before? Or maybe you have heard people say, well, what you want to do is think positive. If something bad is happening, you want to think that everything will turn out okay. Don't assume that the worst is going to happen. Have you ever heard anything like that? Those are all ways that we have, to some degree, been heard of what to do when something bad is going on. So the concept is there. We know it's there. But no one has really helped us to see the importance of why we want to do that. Okay? You have heard of people having horrible things happen to them, and then all of a sudden, what they've done is they've created some type of a cause for that incident to make sure it doesn't happen to other people. Or they went through something horrible, a disease, an illness, and they've created an organization to be able to help individuals who are in the same situation. Is that something familiar to you? Now, when people are doing that, they are doing what I'm saying. They are doing a high vibe to something that's going on. They're taking a situation and they're making good out of it. That is what you do with anything that goes wrong in your life. You're going to help retrain the brain. Instead of saying, oh my goodness, I lost my job, what am I going to do? Your brain is going to say, oh, okay, I'll just get another job. Literally. It'll just say, oh, little job. Okay, what am I going to do? Let me go get an application. No, not what everybody does now. They're like, oh my goodness, I gotta fill out applications. I have to have a resume. We start saying everything in the world that make it so discouraging that we don't have a job. And that it is going to be so hard and difficult. At the times we're living in, nobody wants to work. Everyone has a job. They don't want to pay me. I'm not going to make enough. We just go way down a nice, lovely trail of lovely thoughts, and then we wonder why we're stressing if we're going to pay the bill. Or maybe we've said, hey, we're going to leave it with a higher power, but yet we still haven't, because we're still not sleeping because of it. Is this all making sense? I hope that it is. So, what you do when you do this technique is you're going to help your brain stop doing those things. Literally. Your brain will actually be sending you different messages. the automatic message of what am I going to do, that's an automatic program of what you've already trained your brain to say when it is in crisis for that situation. It automatically will say, alert, 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 and all those negative things just start coming with it right away. It's like a little trail. You ever see a mama and a mama bird or a daddy bird and all the little ones that come behind? Well, that's what happens when your brain says, oop, and then it just brings the whole family of everything along with it. And so that's what we're doing. So what you're going to do with the 3-step thought process is it stops that. You're doing it manually at first, okay, because you don't know how, right? You don't know how, so manually you're going to do this. As you do this regularly, now what do I mean when I say regularly? I'm not saying that you have to sit down 24 hours a day and do it. Regularly means maybe you sit down once a week and you work on something. Or maybe it's someone who says, I like to do it 2 times a week. That's fine, okay? But you're developing a pattern for the brain to learn to adjust to. And as you make it, guide it, enhance it, however you want to say that you're talking with your brain, as you are telling it and rerouting it, when you do these patterns become automatic. Now, it's different than saying, this is not what I'm saying. You're not going to sit there and say, I lost my job, so I'm going to think positive, and I'm going to say that I will find a job. And there, you're done. No, that's not what you have. Because inside, you're still feeling it's a danger. Okay? So it's more than just saying words. It's actually going in and helping the brain to shift gears from panic to calm. In order to get the brain to stop regurgitating those other messages, you got to go in and help it to do that. And you can do it with the 3-step thought process. There are other things that you can do it with, like prayer. Prayer works really good too. It actually works quite effectively if you learn how to make sure that you're capturing what it is your concern is, and then making sure that you keep going back until you feel it has been released to make sure it's gone. Sometimes we'll use prayer and we'll just use it like, we'll feel better and we're like, okay, but then the next day the worry's back. And that is just because you didn't really change your subconscious. You allowed the Holy Spirit to come and calm you, but you really haven't changed your subconscious. So you got to change the subconscious so that when the Holy Spirit comes in, boom, it sticks. If that makes sense. Do I get a thumbs up on that concept? If that is something that you are doing for yourself and understand when you're using prayer, that is the reason why you're not sticking to the feel-good vibe, because the subconscious is still screaming the other message. The other message is still screaming. So what you want to do is you're addressing the subconscious. This whole brain whisperer thing is just the subconscious. You're going to hear people say about rewiring the brain, rewiring the subconscious, brain and heart coherence, mindsets, beliefs, that's all the subconscious. Now, you want to understand more about the subconscious and the difference. Of course, I have videos that do all of that, so I'm not going to go into them here. You can look on my website, you can look on my YouTube channel, and you will get all of those videos. I try not to do them too long, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Get all that information in there that you need. But today we're just going to be talking about more past the basics, but getting to really understanding why we would want to use something to help our brain switch gears. It's a habit when you're sad. It's just a habit. It turns into a habit. It turns into a mood. Turns into a mindset. Someone breaks up with me. Oh, well, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to eat some ice cream. I'm going to feel like I'm unloved. I'm going to feel rejected. That's actually a program. And we didn't know it, because unknowingly we allowed it to be put in. And when we said, okay, I'm going to adopt that program too. I'm going to do it too. And we start doing it. When I found that out, I was very, very surprised. I was like, oh, That's what I did? I didn't know that's what I did, but I don't want to do that anymore. So then I found out I can change any program. So anytime I detect anything that drops me below a 10 of contentment and and inner peace, I stick around a 9, 10. I'm like, oh, what happened? What's going on? What's an 8? We don't do 8. I don't do 8. I do 9 and 10. And I'll go in and I say, what's wrong, sweetie? What's going on up in here? What happened? What program do you got running that's saying that what's going on right now in this moment needs to dampen your mood? Okay? Because you have so many good things going on. Yesterday you were quite happy. Why did you decide to get sad today? So you're actually learning to pay attention to yourself when you're doing this technique. A lot of times people are saying, well, it's human to feel blah, 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 blah. It's human to feel blah, 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 blah. I go, yes, it is human. It is human. But the difference is whether or not you use that human emotion to help the situation, change the situation, enhance the situation, keep going, stay motivated, or you use it to go sad for an unlimited amount of time, maybe days, maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe even years, because you know what happened to us when blah, blah, blah did this to me. I'm never, ever, ever going to get married again because men are blah, 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 blah. And we pretty much say that to ourselves year after year, day after day, and year after year, and day after day. And then that's the way we just feel about men. That's just the way we feel about our job. That's just the way we feel about the gray weather. That's just the way we feel about tomatoes. Everything we have is because of that. Is this making sense? You can give me a thumbs up. If you have a question, pop it in the chat for me to look. Now, when I do say the chat is the one on the Zoom chat, I should check over here to see if I have anything on the live stream, because I do not mean to ignore. Hi, Nettie. Hi, Al. Hi, Lisa. Hello, hello, hello. Mwah! I'm sorry that I've been ignoring you. This is the first time I've done a live stream, so I'm just getting my mojo. So you're going to have to bear with me. And I'm so glad that you're here. I'm excited that we finally connected up. I can see you guys over there. So it's nice. Hello. Okay, so we've got a nice little group today. And I hope that you're understanding. And if you guys can give me hearts too. I love hearts. Give me hearts. I love hearts. Give me little hearts and give me little thumbs up as we're going. And I actually have something coming in, you guys, so that when I'm actually doing this next time, I'm going to have both, boom, boom. But the order didn't come in. So I'm like this. I hope that works. Okay, so the brain is very capable of doing what I've just mentioned. Now, does it sound to you like, ooh, that's a hard thing, or I've never heard that, or it sounds nice, but I mean, really, is that really possible? What are you guys thinking? You guys can put it on my chat on the Zoom, or you can put it on my chat on the live stream. Because I'm paying attention. Gotcha. I gotcha. What we're going to do now is I'm going to just stop and say, if you want to ask me a question, ask me a question. Put it in the chat. And let me know any questions. Because if you don't have a question, then I get to do one of mine. And that's okay. I like doing my questions. So I'm going to do one of my questions. Okay, one of my questions is how is it that you, again, assign a high vibe to something? Because I know that sounds good. But what's the example? So I'm going to give you an example. So a high vibe is going to be something like this. Let's say you had a storm come. And let's say the branch from the trees of a big old tree come down and they crash on your home. That's awful. Okay? That was awful. Now, a lot of people, they may have insurance. So, woo! You can assume the best, that the insurance is going to come along and fix your house. Okay? But it's still, you're like, it's a real big inconvenience. So we're going to still go on and on and on with all of our friends about how scary it was, and the tree came down, and the weather, and what it did, and couldn't go to work, and we're just going to go on and on and on and on and on. We could. Or we could immediately start assuming the best, which is, so glad I have insurance. Oh, isn't this wonder that's why we have insurance? I'm going to call my insurance, see what we're going to do, see what we have to do. Oh, well, you know what? I have friends that I can stay with right now. If I can't stay in my house, let me go call my friends. Let me see what's going on with that. Oh, you know what? As they're going to bring down this tree that is now in my yard, maybe I'll have that wood chopped up. Maybe I'll put it along the side of the road so other people can actually benefit. Maybe there's someone in our community who could use the wood. Okay? Your brain is going to be in a different mode. Instead of going about all the things that's not going to happen, all the things that are bad that are happening, the brain just will automatically go into a different mode and be accepting this is what happened. Tree came down. And instead of saying, why did it have to happen today? I wish it had happened last week or next year. Or why is this going on? The brain won't do that. It will actually decide that it is going to think the other way. And it will do it automatically. I need to plug in something real quick, so bear with me. Otherwise, I would have lost my contact with my peeps over here on YouTube. So the brain will actually do that for you automatically. You will not have to sit down and try to think of reasons why it's good this tree fell on my house. It's not good. You don't have to do that. When you go into your subconscious and you start cleaning up its reactions to things, to unwanted circumstances, it will automatically just start giving you better messages. It's just automatic. It will literally be impossible for anyone to make you feel bad about it because your brain will just keep rerouting it. Have you ever had a GPS system and are you going in a direction and then all of a sudden there's a roadblock? And what does the GPS say? Oh, take a left, go here, and reroutes you. That's what it's there to do. Now, a lot of us, we don't appreciate that. We just start complaining that we can't go the direction that we want to go, when we actually have a very nice direction that we can go to get to where we want. Okay? And that is what your brain will do for you. Is that something that sounds good to you? Does that sound good? Would you like that to happen for your brain? Anybody else? My YouTube people, does that sound good? That your brain will always keep you motivated instead of it going down a path of a spiral that at some point you kind of put on the brakes and then you crawl your way out. That's what we're used to doing. Now, did you know the brain can actually get used to that? Your brain will actually like the anxiety of things, like the stress of things, and it will say, actually, it's not so bad. Have you ever heard of people who are in a relationship and then it's going so well, it's like they do something to make it, mess up? Have you ever heard of people doing things like that? Those are automatic programs because somehow along the way, they're not getting that variety. There are 6 basic needs that we all have. I have a video on that. There's 6 basic needs that we have, and when you actually fulfill those needs in different things in healthy ways, because we actually fulfill them in unhealthy ways, then our brain will make us think, do, and say things to bring about that excitement, that variety, that surprise that we need so that we're not bored, because you have to always keep learning. When time is flying by really, really fast, you know why that is? It's because you're not taking in anything new for the brain to take in and then to regurgitate for you to use. So then time starts to fly very really fast. It's been 5 years. It's because you're in the same rut, same routine, doing the same things, thinking the same thing. You haven't really given it anything to give it something to work with. It's a good video. It's the one on 6 human needs. It's on my website. Okay? So 70,000 thoughts a day is what we can think. And the majority of the thoughts that we are thinking is what we are going to feel. We use the 3-step thought process to start making sure all of the thoughts that we have become motivated and keep us in a good place. No, it's not food, clothing, and shelter. We're talking about qualities of things that we need. I'm going to see if I can get them without forgetting them at the moment. Okay, so one is love, growth. I'm writing them down to see as they come to my mind. Love, growth, connection is with love. Let's see what else is there. Variety or uncertainty. Then certainty is one. So I've given you 4. Love and connection, 1. Growth is 2. Variety and uncertainty is 1. And then certainty is 1. So we got 4 that I've given you. And there's 2 more that I'm thinking in my brain at this moment of what they are. We did growth, connection, love. I'll have to think on the other 2. It'll come to me. And when I do, I will mention it. But those are the 4 that I could off the top of my head. I want to say significance, but I'm not too sure if significance is in the love one. Love, connection, significance, growth, variety, uncertainty. Anyway, there are 6 basic human needs. And actually, Tony Robbins, okay, he really has good information on that. That's how I learned about those. And that's how I started to use those. So for when I was trying to figure out things that I wanted to do. And basically what he said was true. If I could find at least 3 of those common things of what I was saying I was wanting to do, if I could find at least 3 things that really made me feel fulfilled from those, it was effortless to accomplish. That's why I started doing that one. Okay, so all of your basic needs can be fulfilled, and when they are fulfilled, then your brain gives you nice messages. It gives you nice messages. It won't tell you bad things. So when your brain is saying to you, you're not smart, that is a program that you had put in there to tell it to you when there's certain things you did not know. You did not know that you put it in there, but someone may have said something to you and you believed it. Teacher came along and said, well, you're not very smart. Look at that. You only got B's. That's not very good. You're kind of a slow learner or slow thinker. You take forever to do things. And then we believe them. And then when you believe them, your brain will continue to make sure that when you look at things, you do it slow. Can't quite grasp it. I have a hard time with Zoom. The more you say you have a hard time with Zoom, the more your brain will make sure you stay confused and unsure. What we don't realize is that the brain is actually designed to help us with the highest emotion that we give it, with the highest intensity. Our conscious mind is in charge of making sure that that high emotion and high intensity is good. That's what our conscious mind does. Okay? So then the subconscious automatically starts generating good stuff. So that's where we come in with saying, hey, I'm not going to think that way. I'm going to think another way. Now, when we already have a program, though, in there, it's hard to get it to change. That's why we use the 3-step thought process. It makes changing our thoughts super fast. So, I'm showing you how to do this DIY. But let's say you went to a practitioner. I am not a practitioner, so you cannot hire me to do this. I am just someone who did it DIY. I did it myself. Became my own little brain whisperer, and I'm sharing it with you. So let's say you went to a practitioner and you have a phobia for dogs. That practitioner will sit down with you, and I pretty much probably guarantee you at the end of 90 minutes, you will not have a phobia with dogs. Because they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly the questions to ask you as the technique works, and helps you to be distracted, go happy, which are the 3 steps, so that each time you do it, the brain breaks the link that it has to the situation and the fear of the dogs, and it goes. And I'm thinking, you're thinking, no, that way that's not possible and that can't be done. I promise you, I promise you, that is exactly what it does. It teaches you how to exactly look at what your brain is saying to cause you to be in fear, and then it unlinks it so that that situation is no longer causing that. Now, I don't know if that is impressive to you, but it was impressive to me because that's how what I used to do with anything, including about how you feel about yourself. If you feel like you're a slow learner, all you got to do is unlink it. You'll stop saying you're a slow learner and you'll just start thinking you're the smartest little cookie in the world. Now, if you have a program that says, oh, no, you can't say good stuff about you, that means you're arrogant. That means people aren't going to like you. You got to silence that little program, because someone tried to say that if you say something nice about yourself, that's not good. Okay? You're going to learn there's a balance in everything. We're not going to go around tooting our horn and saying we're the best and you're nothing, because we know that that's not good. That's low vibe there too, where you're trying to make someone look low in order for you to look high. So you already know that's not a good thing. But it is okay to say, yeah, thank you so much. I do look kind of cute today. Thank you. That is good. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to learn, you're going to learn the balance. Right now, our programs are either swinging one way or another. All men are bad. I can't help myself. I just fall in so easy. It's like, whoa, there's an in-between. You can do the in-between. And we do have in-betweens on a lot of things. We are balanced on a lot of things in your life. I'm sure you are balanced on a lot of things. But those are the ones that are not causing the problems, right? Because you're balanced. So it's the things that are unbalanced that you're going in to change. So when you're looking at your life, you're not sitting here saying, oh, I'm a bunch of bad programs. No, you have a lot of great programs. And what you're going to do is you're going to look to see, ooh, this one I can enhance. Ooh, it's a good one. I'm going to make it better. And then you say, ooh, this one, maybe I'm going to change it a little bit. And so you change it, okay? Or you're going to look and you're going to say, well, you know what? I kind of like this program. I'm going to keep it. It's been useful for me. And then what I usually tell people is I say, look at your fruitage of your mindset. Look at the fruitage of your mindset. Is your mindset getting you what you want? If you're saying, oh, I'm just sad all the time, well, that means you've got some mindsets that are not being useful for you. Okay? So I'm going to take a little breather. So if anyone wants to go and use the potty or take something to drink, we're going to do that for 1 minute. Okay, I am back. I'm having a little bit of cough, so hopefully I'm going to be okay. As I continue, got me a little water. So, and I put a cough drop in. If you're back, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Great, we're here. Okay. So, we're doing an unwanted thought. Write down an unwanted thought that you have. Not in the chat. Oops. I have someone who gave me a message. Oh, that's kind of cool. I got that, Karen. I see that. Okay, so your unwanted thought is that I don't want to turn off my phone when I'm about to enter into a meeting. Now, you're going to ask yourself, why don't I want to turn it off? Why don't I remember to turn it off? Whatever your unwanted thought is, I'm a lazy person. Why do I say I'm a lazy person? Why do I think I'm a lazy person? This is your step one. Now, is this what you're going to do when you leave here with me? No. You're going to watch a video and do this. But I'm showing you what the video does. If you try to do this on your own without the video, you're going to get bogged down, clogged down, and you're not going to make any progress because you do not know the technique yet. Okay? So I'm just giving you a little background of what the video does for you. This is what it's going to help you to do. So remember, when you are going to sit down and work on yourself, do not sit down and say, okay, let me see, what is it that Renee did? You will bog yourself down, you will make no progress, and you will not continue to do this because you will not get the results you want because your brain does not know it yet. You're going to sit down and do a mind cardio video or a guided session or a PDF sheet. I'm going to repeat it again. You want to know why I'm repeating it? I'm repeating it because your brain will keep defaulting, thinking, I need to sit down and remember what Renee did with us while we were there, and you will get bogged down. So, whenever you're doing this, you are going to be doing it watching a video or having a guided sheet. Does everybody understand? You want to give me a thumbs up? And tell me in the chat, what are you going to use when you sit down to do a session on yourself? Put that in the chat for me. You're going to use a guided sheet or you're going to use a guided video. Very good. You'll find a video that says unwanted thoughts. And then you'll use that. Okay? Or you'll find a video that says resentment or anger or images. I have this image in my head. Does that make sense? Now, I do not say this so that you have to use mine forever. Remember, it's going to become an automatic program. Once the program does it, you'll be good. I usually tell people they'll probably still use my videos if they're using it, and for some reason, their brain is seeing the issue as kind of big, and so it's not being able to think through things. So then you'll still use the video to do that or a guided sheet. But when you make all the adjustments in your head, you will not have to do this at all. Your brain will skip all of this and it will just come up with a really nice, good, helpful answer instantaneously. The same way when something happened and your brain instantaneously assigned it bad and started making you feel bad, your brain will just automatically come up with a really good solution, a really good feeling, a really good vibe. It'll be like, oh, we're going to be courageous. Oh, we're going to be enlightened. Oh, I just learned something. Oh my, this is going to really help me. Oh, this is going to cause me some growth. Oh, you know what? I'm going to feel peace at this. Oh, I accept this is what happened. Oh, I'm willing to be flexible, bendable. Let me see, how can I do that? That is what your brain will do. So it'll become an automatic process. So I hope you understand that when I say it turns into something automatic when you manually keep doing it so that it develops it. So you're going to sit down with the video, your guide sheet, and what I'm going to be doing in the video is I'm going to be asking you those questions. They're like, what's the problem? Why is that a problem? Where did that start? When did you start feeling that emotion? What's going to happen if this happens? Why is it such a big deal for you to turn the phone off? You understand? So I'm going to be asking you those questions. You're gathering the information that your brain has in its subconscious. As you're answering the questions, those are the answers that are in your subconscious. Sometimes you'll say something, you're like, oh, I didn't really mean that. And I'm like, oh, yes, you did. You just have a second program that came in and tried to correct it. So always go with first what you said. Don't ignore it. Pay attention to it. Does that make sense? So the second step is to re-engage your mind. And that's my job in the video or the guide sheet. I re-engage your mind. Now this is important because a lot of people are like, I want to let it go. I want to let it go. I just don't want to feel, I want to. That you haven't re-engaged the mind. You're still thinking about the problem. Okay? And that is the issue with many managing and coping techniques. They kind of keep you in the problem a little longer. It will go eventually, but it's harder to make it go that way. So I re-engage your mind. I do music. I do videos. I do games. You can dance. You could do this as a workout. If you love working out and you have an issue, you can do this 3-step doing like a 15-minute workout and your brain will shift for you. Or if you like dancing or anything that you're interested in, you can do the 3-step while you're in the middle of doing it. If you like affirmations, if you like gratitudes, oh, those are really good using the 3-step thought process in order to get the same kind of results. I tell people when you use the 3-step thought process in affirmations and gratitudes, it just takes it to a whole nother level. Because it takes it from just being words that you're saying, oh, I'm grateful for my dog. It takes it away so that you're actually getting the emotion, so that before even what you're affirming in your life about yourself is really you actually feel it's you, which then your brain will then make it you. Talking about some advanced stuff here, and we'll get into those later on. But it's all the truth of what your brain will do for you. It will make you that person before you were even that person. You will be them. So that's interesting stuff. So after you do your number 2, which is the re-engagement, then you're going to bring in a good emotion. Now, a lot of people have learned how to disengage from the bad, but they also then disengage from the good. They're like, well, I really can't feel happy. I kind of feel numb. I've learned to just numb everything. So you're going to learn to bring in a really nice, good emotion. I can help you do that. And then you repeat the steps. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you'll do it like 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40 minutes. I don't think I have any videos longer than 40 minutes. Because sometimes we're digging really deep. We ask more questions. And that's how the 3-step thought process works. Has that been helpful? Has that been helpful? Good. Okay. So, the 3-step thought process basically helps you rewire your brain in a very fast way. When you hear about people saying, oh, I love doing this, it has helped me, it's been such a wonderful 12-year journey, I'm like, oh my word, that's a long time. The 3-step thought process, it can work really fast. Anyone want to throw out there how fast they think it can work? How long do you see you having to do this, and how often? I mean, what are you seeing in your mind? You're like, oh my goodness, Renee's saying a lot of stuff. What am I going to have to do? Tell me what you're thinking. What do you think? Years, months, what? Well, I'll give you an answer. It will take as long as you want it to take. If you want it to take years, it'll take years. Remember what we said? Our brain will do whatever it is that we tell it to do. If you want it to be progressive and fast, it'll be progressive and fast. If you're working on something and say, oh, this is going to be a big one, it's going to take me a long time, how long do you think it will take you? It will take you a long time. Because it's all about learning about how your brain processes things. It's there to help you. So when you're wanting it to do something, think of it as a child. Or think of it as a friend in the hospital. Friend in the hospital. Would you go in there and say, oh man, you're going to have this big surgery. You could die on the table. Oh, this is awful. Oh, you must be so scared. Is that what you do? Or do you go in and say, hey, I'm here. We're all here. We're here when you wake up. You've got the best surgeons. They say everything is going to be really good. They have great statistics. I heard someone saying this is like the best doctor. I was just in the hallway coming in. Don't you say all the positive things you heard and anything that's going to help them to stay positive and motivated? You don't sit there and go, oh, yeah, this is like the worst hospital. Yeah, people, they die on the table here. Would you do that? Would you do that? No. And if you actually thought they did die on the table, you'd probably figure out a better place for your friend to be. You wouldn't just be sitting there telling them that they're going to die on the table. Your brain is the same way. It will take care of you if you take care of it. If you are sad, you have taught it to make you sad. Okay? If you are angry, annoyed, irritated, feeling betrayed, all of that stuff, you're the one that said, if someone says this to me, if someone does this to me, this is how it's going to make me feel. This is how I'm going to react. Because that is what you were trained. Maybe from a TV. Maybe from a book. Maybe it's what you saw your mom do. Maybe your aunt, your uncle. Maybe something you read somewhere. But the point is this. You can decide for yourself how you want to feel. Now for me, I happen to believe that the Bible is like the best mindsets in the world and guidance tool to use. So I just make mine all based on that because I know they're pretty accurate. You can also do information that you read from different places. You can read many different things. Things that you know the results are good. And that's what you instill. And then you look at your fruitage. You've instilled something, now look at your fruitage. Is it all good? Or you got side effects. I call it side effects. You say you don't want money. You don't need money. People who have money are not good, and the money's not good. But yet you complain about not having money all the time. As soon as the rent goes up, as soon as the insurance goes up, oh, they're scamming us. They're always trying to take advantage of us. Side effects. Side effects. Is that making any sense? Do I get a thumbs up? Is that working for you? Okay. So, this technique is just a 3-step thought process. And I hope you understand that it's not one that I made. I didn't decide this. I'm not that smart. I just steal stuff and mimic them and learn how to do what other people know how to do. That's what they say. See who's doing what you want, and then, do it yourself by what they're saying. So Robert Gene Smith with Skills to Change is the one who I learned all of this from. And he has practitioners you can go to, or he has 600 videos online that you can watch yourself. And that's what I did, and I taught myself. I spent hours, many hours. So when I'm doing this, and sharing with you, what I'm trying to do is to help you progress smoothly. Because when I'm telling you something now, a lot of the stuff I told you, I didn't know about until like a year later after I started the process. So I'm giving you stuff so that you're not having the epiphany a year later. You're gonna speed along way faster than me. Way faster than me. Because I'm giving you all the tidbits now. So, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Come on. Your brain is thinking something. What's it thinking? That's okay. That's okay. You'll get all the information. I repeat it like a gazillion times all the time in my stuff. So now, who has been doing videos already? Anybody been doing videos already? I'm going to go off camera for just a second. Anybody doing videos already? Ooh, I got something in the chat. Oh, that's what, that was Karen. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to DIYmentalboost.com. You're going to make a free account. And then you're going to click on Easy to Start Here and start doing videos. Now, you're going to say things like, where do I start? Well, you're going to start on that page where it says Easy to Start Here. You're going to also think, well, what do I do? Well, all the instructions are on that page, and you're just going to sit down and do a video. You're going to do any video that is on that page, or the PDF guide. Now, you're thinking, well, I want to work on this specific something. You've got a whole lot of stuff to work on. It doesn't make a difference where you start, because all the different emotions that we have, most of them are skewered in how we view them. People are afraid of fear. People are afraid of hurt. They run around trying to avoid all of that. So what you're going to do is just start working on stuff. Then you're going to do a self-eval in about 3 to 6 weeks. See how you feel about things that you worked on. And you're going to notice the improvement. Now, how did I do it? I did my whole entire 48 years at the time. I sat down, I took a pen and paper, and I wrote down 0 to 5 years old what went on in my life. Then I went to 6 to whatever, and then I wrote it all down, and then I started on that list. Now, I didn't have the videos. I just had to, start figuring out and working through it and doing my stuff. What you're going to do, you can also do the same thing. Get a little notebook, write it all down, and then as you're working on stuff, check mark it off your little list. Check mark it off your little list. Check mark it off your little list. If at any time between now and 30 days, as you're working on things, you're going to check your reaction to things. If you have been sad at all in the past week, month, year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have a lot to work on. The last time I was sad, I think it was like 4 years ago. But before I started this. I think it was 4 years ago. Yeah, I think it was about 4 years ago. Had a little thing came up. It took me maybe, I don't know, maybe it took me about an hour to get my brain wrapped around it. But I wasn't feeling overwhelmed. It was just a disappointment of something. But you're going to learn. There's no need to feel emotions that keep you not motivated. You're going to learn to utilize them. They're alarms. They're little alarms. When you're disappointed about something, you're like, oh, disappointed about something. What was it? What do I have to do? How do I change it? Fix it. Correct it. And you keep going. Because if you don't, then it turns into discouragement. And then when it goes into discouragement, it gets into this mood. Then you're just down on everything. That is the least healthy way to use your low vibe emotions of disappointment, fear, or anything like that. It's the least. But the most productive is as soon as you feel them, you recognize them, and then you help your brain to wrap around what's going on and then figure out a solution. There's a reason why people, when they're in bad relationships, they stay, because they haven't trained themselves to listen to what their brain is saying and to get out of a situation. It's not trained. We're not trained to do that. That's why they're in a job they don't like year after year after year after year after year after year after year. That's why they keep working on the same thing. Still trying to lose weight. Still trying to lose that 15 pounds. Still trying to lose that 20 pounds. Still having habits that they don't like. Is that making sense? That is the pattern we have learned, to try, but not to succeed. We love to try, and we love to say we're trying. We love to say we're going to try. But no one ever really helped us to see how to succeed in that. And that is the only reason why we did it the other way. Because that's the way we were trained. But now you're learning a new way. You're learning now to, when things come up, you're going to change them like that. Boom. Don't mess around with it. You know, next year, 2 years. Ooh, how to lose 15 pounds. Okay, with this method. Ooh, that's a good question. Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to figure out why you think you have to lose 15 pounds. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you happy with where you're at? It's all about you. It's never about whatever it is you think it is. And I guarantee you, something in your brain that's telling you that you don't look good. And you got to clean that up. You have to, in order to lose 15 pounds, you have to love exactly where you're at and how you look. Because as long as you have an intense vibe that says there's something wrong with me, your brain thinks you want to continue thinking there's something wrong with you, and it will never allow you to lose that 15 pounds. Or if you do lose it, you'll gain it back really easy. Or if you do lose it, it takes a really long time, and you always still feel like it's not just quite enough. What do you think of that? Are you ready to love everything about yourself? When you do, then when your conscious mind says, hey, you know what? I look really good. And you know what I think I'm going to do this year? I think I'm going to lose 10 pounds. And then you'll be able to. But if you're looking in the mirror, oh, this is, oh, I love, that's the intense vibe that you're giving your brain, that it is dissatisfied, that there's something wrong with you, and it will say, oh, well, let's keep producing that dissatisfied, wrong feeling for you. That's why people who have had a lot of weight, and then they lose weight, and they still say they feel like a what? Why? That's what they told themselves all those years. And even if they lose the weight, it's still in the subconscious. So you have to like who you are right now. If you've got a belly, love the belly. If you got flabby arms, love flabby arms. Got a big nose, love the big nose. Because the point is who told you that there was a problem? Wherever it was, whatever it is, you need to make it not to have such high intensity. It doesn't mean to say that you can't change the things you want, but you can't change it with a low vibe. It's like going to a little kid and saying to you, well, you know, you didn't quite do rush right, try again. Oh, it's still not right, try again. Oh, it's still not right, try. You're still not doing a good. How long will the kid then want to continue learning? How motivated will he be? How much will he accomplish if you keep doing that? So if you keep looking at your body and you keep telling your body you're not good enough, you need to lose 15 pounds. So you use this technique to make yourself be at peace with yourself. And as soon as you're at peace with yourself, you know what's amazingly will happen? Your brain will say, oh, you know what? I just think I'm going to lose 10 pounds because I just want to. It's not because I think I'm ugly. It's not because I think I need to get in a wedding. It's not because I think I'm going back to the Kingdom Hall and I gained 15 pounds or I'm going back to work. Those are all low vibe reasons. They have nothing to do with saying that you're wonderful and fabulous. Does that make sense? Now, I know it's not what I want to say, like what people will say, well, why? It's not right. Well, society is telling you what size is right. Society is telling you what weight is right. We have a lot of information. If you eat a carb, you're going to get fat. If you don't eat a carb, we have so much information out there we take in. Our brains and body does not know what to do. Eat carb, don't eat a carb. Eat a fat, don't eat a carb. Weigh this, don't do this, do this. Exercise, don't exercise. There's so much information that we invest in. Then we wonder why our body is very confused on what it's going to do and help you do. So you take the emotion out of all that information and just take the information and then make a balanced decision what you want to do with that information. Okay, so no attachments to the information that if I eat carbs, it's bad. So if you say to yourself, I eat carbs, it's bad. That means every time you eat a carb, you're telling your body it's doing something bad and that it's going to gain weight. So what do you think it's going to do? It's going to do what you told it to do. Now, if you decide that you just don't want to have carbs, that you think that carbs, should be eaten only one time a day or in moderation, that you think that it likes the way it makes you feel, you think it's clearer for your brain, and just, you're wanting to do something healthy for yourself that you think is going to help it to work, then that's fine. But if you're saying, oh, it's making me fat, it's making me roly-poly, it's giving me cellulite, it's causing me to have cardiac whatever, then your brain, every time you go to put that morsel in, is saying, oh, cardiac on its way. That making sense? That making sense? Everything you think, the emotion and the intensity to it is what the brain will do for you, make you feel, think, do, and say. So then that's why you're going to want some more carbs. Because you told your brain carbs are bad. And so then the brain's like, oh, carbs are bad. I need to keep the feeling that carbs are bad. So I'm going to eat more carbs so she can continue to feel that carbs are bad. So it's the opposite way of when you're talking with your brain. You cannot do things like that. And that is the habit that we have had. We love to talk about what we don't like. We love to talk about what we don't like. How was your meal? Oh, it was a little salty. It was good, but it was salty. How was your day? It was good, but we love to put all the buts. If you just stick to the good, your brain will produce more good. And then the things that were off, the brain will correct them for you. And then the little things that are still off, your brain will see them as so insignificant, it doesn't even register as it is an issue for you to even think about or register. That is what the brain will do for you. But if you like to every day, because that's what we love to do, we love to have a little bit of attention, a little bit of recognition of how hard and difficult things are. So we're going to really mention it, and we're going to talk about how tomorrow is going to be a hard day, and then Sunday is going to be a hard day, and then I'm so busy. I love this is busy, and I just don't get things done. That's the habit that we've gotten into. We have got to get into a good habit of, wow, it's a great day. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing this and this and that, and we'll see what happens and enjoy your days, because your days are good. We just tend to focus on the things that are all wrong. That's why gratitudes are good and affirmations are good, because it helps your brain to refocus off of the little things that are wrong, and then they become big because we're focused on them, and then we don't see the good, and then we start going in a downward spiral. I hope that makes sense. I've talked a lot about the mind and about your thoughts. That's the biggest thing you're going to get out of this today, is if you understand that your brain, I'm trying to look at my time, that your brain, oh yeah, I got 2 minutes, that your brain makes you feel what you think. Your brain makes you do what you think. Your brain will make you see what you think. Have you ever had someone say, go into the refrigerator and get the mayonnaise? And they're like, I don't see the mayonnaise. I don't see the mayonnaise. I don't see the mayonnaise. And you walk over there and, whoa, there's the mayonnaise. You're in a parking lot. Oh, it's so hard to find a parking lot in this spot. It's always so hard. I'm never going to find one. I'm never going to find one. And then the person next to you says, we just passed the parking spot. Your brain is designed to give you what it is that you tell it to, with the highest intensity and the highest emotion. So if you want to be happy, you got to pump up the happy. When something good is happening, you got to talk about it all the time. I woke up today. I felt so good today. Oh, I just loved it. I slept so great. Instead of, last night I didn't sleep very good. Oh, I got to have some coffee. I didn't sleep good. I didn't wake up very good. Oh, it was a bad day. And that's what we do. Instead of amping up the days that are good, we amp up the bad days. Does anyone understand that? Now, when you do the 3-step thought process, your brain will automatically do that for you. You won't have to think about it. You won't have to sit there and say, I'm going to only talk positive today. You don't have to do that. If you just start going inside and cleaning up your subconscious about everything that is making a low vibe in your life, your brain will then start to do it for you. It's the easy way. If you want to do it the easy way, you can try to sit down and write down all your 70,000 thoughts and correct them every day. I did that with CBT. One day you'll hear my story of how I was on medication and in my home and, all that kind of craziness, and my little 12-year battle of stuff. And how they gave me great managing and coping skills, but nothing that really ever fixed things. Okay, so CBT was good at helping you to monitor what you're thinking and try to reroute it, but I find it very much easier. Sit down and go into your subconscious and make your subconscious at peace. Then your brain will automatically tell you motivating things. So can anyone write down in your in the chat real quick, what did you learn today? One thing that you learned today. One thing. How do you do that, Patricia? I think you've already heard that you should think positive. How do you do that? Oh, I like that one, Karen. The brain makes you feel what you think. So, Patricia, Karen, Brenda, how are you going to think positive? When you're thinking something unpositive, what will you do? Got someone coming in as we're leaving. Very good. Change our pattern of thought. A bad moment, not a bad day. Remove the bad thoughts. With the happy thoughts. Okay, so now if you try to remove a bad thought with a happy thought, Patricia, you're going to be there all day. We're not doing that. That's old stuff. That's old school. That's like trying to use a spoon to dig a ditch. Okay? You're not replacing a bad thought with a happy thought. You're going to your subconscious and you're silencing what your brain is telling you about a situation. If you try to replace it, you're going to spend all day. Your brain will do it for you if you silence the bad. It will do it for you. You will not have to try to think and replace it. Does that make sense? So if you have a bad thought and you say, oh, I'm going to think a happy thought, we don't do that here. That's slow. That's going to take you forever. You're going to be here for years trying to replace your happy thought. Good, Patricia. So when we have an unhappy thought, we're going to talk to ourselves and say, where is it coming from? Why are you saying this? Then we're going to distract our mind. Then we're going to think of something pleasant and go back to step one. It's the re-engagement of the brain, getting it off of the subject that allows the brain to start to release it. Because you know your brain does that for you every night. When you go to bed, it processes stuff and gets rid of stuff all the time. Hey, Joan. Good to see you.
Hey, sweetie, I'm sorry. I just got home from a meeting.
How was your meeting?
Absolutely wonderful. The first time back, it seemed like we've been there before, except for the
Exciting.
mass and the separation. I guess I'm halfway through your meeting. I'm so sorry.
I'm actually done, Joan. We're about to wrap up.
Okay.
But that's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So your meeting's always going to be at this time, so you won't be able to make it.
Okay. My meeting is at 1:00. Okay.
Mhm.
But I had some other things that I had to do after the meeting. And
Okay,
so it
gotcha.
brought me to 4:00. But listen, I need to talk to you.
Okay.
Renee, can I?
And there's going to be a live stream of this also, so you can watch it again. So it's not a big deal.
Okay.
Okay. So it'll be there. And then, yeah, we can chit chat. I'm actually not going to stay on too long now because, you know, for me, I got to get ready to go to my meeting. I'm going to my meeting first time. I'm excited. So I'm going to go.
What time is it there?
Right now it is 2:00. My meeting is at 3:30.
Oh, girl. All
Okay.
right.
So
So
Karen,
maybe.
Brenda, Patricia, and Joan.
Okay.
Again,
So
we're gonna
we'll be able to look at the meeting.
yeah, you'll be able to look at the meeting. I'll send you a link.
Please, I want to see what went on, and this brain of mine needs help.
Me too. That's why I love doing this, helping my brain, taking care of my brain. So Patricia, Karen, and Brenda, this is not about changing a good thought to a bad thought with your conscious mind. Sorry. This is about using your subconscious to do it. So Patricia, you are correct. You're going to replace it, but you're going to do it in the subconscious. You cannot consciously go through 70 thoughts. You'll spend here all day. You won't be able to go out preaching. You're staying all day. So I have a question to ask everyone. How are you going to start?
Did I register?
Joan registered, and then what? What did you do after you register?
Did you see my name? Because I was having a time with that thing.
I did register, and I also sent you email welcome. So check your email box, look in your spam, maybe it's sitting in there. You usually have to confirm that you registered, and then you'll start seeing stuff. I can help you kind of look at that a little later on too.
Okay, can I call you after the meeting?
You should have gotten a couple of emails from me already.
I have?
You should have.
Okay. I've had trouble. I've been at Verizon because my phone locked up.
Okay.
And then I had to wait for a new phone. And the new phone is just as bad as the other phone, dropping calls. So my grandson's coming over. And bye-bye, Karen. So my grandson's going to come over with an iPhone for me. So hopefully And you do have my email address, right?
I have your email.
Okay, let me go and check that.
Okay.
Okay, sweetie, and I will be able to see what you just did.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
You're going to send me the link.
Mhm.
I love you, girl.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So
And I'll
Patricia,
talk to you
Brenda, thank
later.
you for coming in. I hope you got some information out of this. But let me tell you this. I will ban you from these meetings if you do not start using the videos. Because the reason why I ban you is because the hour and a half that you spent here, you could have done 2 or 3 videos.
Well, send me the videos. Don't ban me. Send me. I need
No,
help.
and you could be making changes. These meetings do not make changes. You're just in here, and
I'm going to
I'm
make
trying
them.
to and giving information. So start using the videos, and you can always continue to come to these meetings. Otherwise, I'll ban you guys. I'm so mean, aren't I?
No, I want help, and in order to get help, I got to help myself. So I have to. It's just like when Jehovah teaches us: if you don't apply it, you ain't gonna
It
learn
don't do any
nothing.
good. It don't do any good. You have to put output. You have to stop taking input and put output. Does that make
Okay.
sense to everybody?
All right, girl. I'll see you later. I'm gonna check my my emails
Okay.
and
Okay, we'll
send
talk to
me
you guys
the
later. I'm
link.
going to get ready. Patricia, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure to meet you. Joan, we'll check out on you later.